Tingles with flyby. Hello and welcome back. How have you been? Oh, I got your email that you're interested in the Antarctic Explorer. Wanted a little more details on that one. So let me talk you through the details for that trip. It's the 10-day trip, as with all of our excursions. It is completely inclusive. So on this trip you'll get to see very abundant wildlife, penguins, seals, whales, and more. We'll get into that in a little bit. And you do have your domestic flights included, gratuities, and drinks on board. And this particular trip is on the Island Sky, which is a really fun ship. So you do have one adventure option on this one. You can add on stand-up paddleboarding, which is really fun. Just quite an amazing experience to be out there in the Antarctic Ocean on your own little vessel. You're just there yourself, stand-up paddleboarding by the power of your own at this majestic place in the world. It's life-changing. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So let's just go through the day by day. So here's the little map. You do begin in Buenos Aires for this one, and then it goes down to Ushuaia and across. We'll kind of talk about our way through that. So day one is Buenos Aires and Ushuaia in Argentina. So your adventure begins in Buenos Aires, where we meet and transfer to the included flight to Ushuaia. Ushuaia does have a population of more than 63,000, and it's the southernmost city in the world. It's pretty easygoing and flexible. As you can guess, 63,000 is not super huge, so pretty chill little town. Yeah, so you've got the sea to the south, mountains to the north. So this is a gorgeous spot to depart for your Antarctic cruise, which is what you do on day 2. This is embarkation day. So you'll get a little bit of time in the morning to spend some time hiking, enjoy the Argentine wines, barbecues, or visit the boutiques and cafes in Ushuaia before you leave for your Antarctic expedition. So embarkation begins late in the afternoon, and then that's when you'll begin sailing through the historic Beagle Channel. This transects the Tierra del Fuego archipelago in the extreme South America, and everyone's always buzzing. The first day it's always so excited because it's just brand new experiences that you're going to be having. So day 3 and 4 are really exciting times. This is the crossing of the Drake Passage. Yeah, so it's quite an experience. It can be really rough water, but of course we'll be hoping for some smooth sailing. It's very unpredictable and changing, but obviously all of our staff are well prepared to take care of you. So you'll get to know your shipmates aboard the Island Sky, and your expedition team will give you safety briefings and just a little, teasers about what will be coming in the coming days. So it's a lot of time on the ship here. It is a really good time because when you're getting down to Antarctica, what you have to remember is there's no cities, there's no inhabitants here. So the people who you need, you don't have emergency services, you have the ship crew, and you have your other occupants. So making some good relationships there can always be beneficial. Just everybody kind of looks out for each other, and part of that is just, getting to know each other during those crossing the Drake Passage days. So then days 5 to 7, then you'll be in the South Shetland Islands. So you're doing the Drake Passage around here and going down to the South Shetland Islands. So this is really when the Antarctic journey comes into its own. You'll get the first sight of land that's outside of the other continents. You will get to see just it'll be your first time seeing Antarctica, and it's an island off Antarctica, so it's not the continent itself, but it's in that Antarctic climate. This is the beginning. It's so exciting. So I can't always predict, obviously, what will happen. Every time we go, it's new, it's unexpected. We don't know what's going to happen, and that's what's so exciting about an Antarctic journey. So on every day, you'll take a zodiac excursion. As you've been with us before, the zodiac cruising is one of the highlights of the trip. So explore local bays, channels, landing sites, and always there'll be wildlife. You'll see penguin rookeries, have a little bit of a scout for humpback whales, minke whales, and also search for a number of southern seal species, including leopard seals. The majesty of the Antarctic Peninsula's mountains will enchant as you scramble up snowy pathways to vantage points that offer 360-degree views. One is actually in Orne Harbor, and this gives you an opportunity to visit a chin strap penguin colony. So many, I'm getting like tingles just thinking about it. It was such an amazing experience when I went to Antarctica, and just seeing the penguins, and one of my favorite parts. So when you're at the Orne Harbor, you can go mountain hiking or sit quietly on the pebbled beach. Obviously, you don't have to make any decisions now or even there. Completely up to your devices on that day. So those are just the options that you have. So you can also, if you'd like to, don't discount yourself early. You have the option for partaking in the polar plunge in the harbor as well. Yeah, it's definitely something that gives you bragging rights. I'll say that. So you also go to the calving glacier of Yankee Harbor, and you just have quiet moments just surrounded by these galleries of ice sculptures and then going off to lovely little penguin rookeries, which are noisy and just so cute. The penguins are adorable, just the little piggy penguins. Oh, you can eat them up. And so this is the real highlight of the trip, in my opinion. Then day 8 and 9, this is crossing the Drake Passage, going back to Ushuaia. So it'll be a bit more this direction. So you can see we're coming up through here. So you kind of go in a triangle. And here's actually a good spot to see seabirds, obviously be scouting for whales, and there'll be some lovely, lovely presentations from the expedition team, and plenty of opportunities to relax and reminisce. You're going to make some good friends on the trip. Yeah, obviously, from your last trip, it's just amazing. So then day 10, we'll disembark at Ushuaia, and then you fly to Buenos Aires, and that is the end of your trip. So, why not just give you a few more details then? So you'll need to arrive in Buenos Aires prior to 10 a.m. local time for day 1. And yeah, we'll meet at a designated hotel. That hasn't been decided yet, but obviously closer to the date we would arrange that. And then everyone will go on the flights together. We do book them all together so that from the beginning there's lots of opportunity for people to get to know each other and be exchanging in that way. So in Ushuaia, you'll be greeted and transferred to the group hotel. So the Quark Expeditions representative will be available to answer any questions that you have in the lobby of your hotel in Ushuaia. And there is a optional pre-departure briefing on day 1 at 6 p.m., which I always think is great. It's just a lovely way to just get a really nice idea about how everything's going, what the plans are, any updated details that you may need for that particular time, weather forecasts, etc. So as I said, about 4 p.m. is your embarkation the next day, so you do have quite a bit of time to wander around Ushuaia, which is a lovely little town. Designated spot, obviously get more details on that closer to the day. So, on Ushuaia, your ship is scheduled to, for disembarkation, we're scheduled to arrive back at Ushuaia between 7 and 8 a.m. local time. So the ship will dock and you'll have time to bid farewell to the expedition team and the shipmates, and usually takes about an hour for disembarkation. Then you'll get transferred to the airport and go on your return flight to Buenos Aires. So we'll include those details in your final documentation. So you'll need to book your flights to and from Buenos Aires for the days of the expedition. So you want the flight as you're leaving to depart as late as possible on that final date. If you've booked an international departure out of Buenos Aires before 10 p.m. on the date that your expedition ends, you do missing your flight. So we recommend very late or the next day. Yeah. You also may need to transfer. There's 2 airports. There's the domestic and international portions of the airport. So you may need to transfer between, so you definitely need to give yourself plenty of time in Buenos Aires. And that's because they're about a 1-hour drive. That's in good condition, so you need plenty of time. So we recommend about 4 to 5 hours in between, just to keep it really chill. And yeah, we just think an extra night in Buenos Aires is a good idea. That's not included in the trip, but obviously that's something we recommend. So the included accommodation begins on day 1 of your itinerary, and the specific hotels would be indicated on your final voyage confirmation. That one comes out about 2 weeks before the trip. Obviously, we have certain hotels that we work with, but until that's 100% confirmed, we will give you that final confirmation about 2 weeks before your expedition. If you do need any extra nights, please request those as early as possible so that we can try and book you in the same room. And especially in Ushuaia, there's very limited accommodation. So if you are going to stay any extra days in Ushuaia, please let us know as early as possible so that we can reserve a room for you. So the accommodation in Ushuaia does range from hostels to mid-range properties. Hotel space is severely limited, and we do provide the best possible accommodation within these parameters. We cannot guarantee a particular property, but we do most often book at Hotel Las Lengas, Hotel Los Gazebos, and the Albatross Hotel. Transfers, and we know about the extensions. Now let us discuss the exclusions for this particular journey. So it includes shipboard accommodation with daily housekeeping, all breakfast, lunch, dinners, and snacks on board, prepared by our excellent chefs, complimentary house wine, beer, and spirits on board, all shore landings per the daily program, leadership throughout the voyage by our experienced expedition leader, all Zodiac transfers and cruising per the daily program, so those 3 days of Zodiac cruising, formal and informal presentations by our expedition team, and special guests such as scientists as scheduled. Also included is a photographic journal documenting the expedition, waterproof expedition books on loan for shore landing, an official Cork Expeditions parka to keep. That's the yellow. Coffee, tea, and cocoa available around the clock, and it'll be hot. Yes, we know we're going to one of the coldest places on Earth, so we'll keep you warm. A hair dryer and bathrobe in every cabin. I love those bathrobes, can't wait to get back into one. Comprehensive pre-departure materials, including a map and an informative Antarctic reader. So you get plenty of information, really a lot to get you really excited for your upcoming expedition. All miscellaneous service taxes and port charges throughout the program. Those are all included. You don't have to worry about extras. All luggage handling aboard the ship, handled by our crew. Gratuities for shipboard staff and crew. You don't need to worry about any extra tips. Emergency evacuation insurance to a maximum benefit of $500,000 per person. So we do have it taken care of that people will come and save us should anything bad happen, but obviously very experienced crew, very unlikely. Obviously the flight from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, group transfer in Ushuaia from the airport to the pre-expedition hotel, day 1. 1 night pre-expedition hotel in Ushuaia with breakfast, and group transfer from the hotel to the ship on embarkation day, and then group transfer on the way back, and a flight back from Ushuaia to Buenos Aires. So, this does not include, however, your international airfare. That would be additional. passport and visa expenses, government arrival and departure taxes that are not mentioned before, meals ashore unless otherwise specified. So when we're in Ushuaia, you get the breakfast, but the other meals you would need to cover. Baggage, cancellation, interruption, and medical travel insurance. All of these are strongly recommended, not included in our price. Excess baggage fees on international flights are excluded. The mandatory waterproof pants for Zodiac cruising or any other gear not mentioned. Basically only the parka is included. Laundry, bar, beverage, and other personal charges unless specified. Phone and internet charges, and any additional overnight accommodation. So that's our timings. We'll go over that in just a moment. So these are the possible landings and wildlife sightings that we have in Antarctica. We have Cooverville Island. This has a little Gentoo penguin rookery, which is just on the rocky beach on the north part of the island. Depends on when in the season you may see building nests or tending to their chicks. There's also petrels and kelp gulls that breed on this island. We have Demoy Point. This is a place that you can actually mail a postcard from Antarctica. So if you're lucky enough to do that, you'll do that at Demoy Point. Danko Island. This is home to more Gentoo penguins. It's a very small island, only 1 mile long. So you can visit the marker for a former British Antarctic survey hut. You can watch a variety of seabirds, snowy sheathbills, kelp gulls, and blue-eyed shags. On Enterprise Island, this is in Wilhelmina Bay. This was once used by whalers. There's a Zodiac cruise around the island, and you pass a wrecked whaling ship. There's the Lamar Channel. This runs between Booth Island and the Antarctic Peninsula. It's one of the most scenic places on the peninsula's west coast, especially during sunrise and sunset. It can become impassable though, so we have to have clear waters to be able to go there. Melchior Islands is a group of islands in Telefon Bay where you can see hauled out male fur seals as they recuperate from their battles for supremacy at the end of the breeding season. We have Yankee Harbor, which we discussed. You can see whales, Gentoo penguins, and also the other things we discussed. We have Peterman Island. This is near the Lamar Channel. You can stand ashore and see the southernmost breeding colony of Gentoo penguins. The dome on this island rises 650 feet above the sea, which gives you a nice little hike, a little bit of a challenge for panoramic views. You also have Adelie penguins, shags, and South Polar skuas on the island. There's Port Lockroy. This is a fun destination of sorts, so we always strive to journey to this sheltered harbor. This is located on the west side of Yankee Island. As part of Operation Tabarant in World War II, a secret British base was built here. It's now a designated historic site. The base is a museum and post office. Proceeds from your purchases support the preservation of historic sites. And we also have Waterfront Point. This is a unique point which at low tide is connected to the Antarctic mainland. Zodiacs are used to explore the historic area when the tide is in. 2 scientists studying penguin behavior lived in a waterboat on the point from 1921 to 1922. The remains of their camp have been designated as an Antarctic historic site. Now, we do also have a few options as I discussed the South Shetland Islands. So there are some landings and wildlife sightings there. We have the Yankee Islands. It's a group of small islands, some that don't even have names. It's just the northern entrance of the English Strait. You get a big mix of wildlife in the area, gentoo, chinstrap penguins. You get some southern elephant seals, fur seals as well, which come out of the water. It's really fun. Bayley Head is another spot, also known as Rancho Point. It's a rocky headland on the southern shore of Deception Island. You have chinstrap penguins, which build nests on the slopes, leading to a high ridge that dominates the natural amphitheater and provides a lovely setting for landscape photography. There is Half Moon Island. This is a crescent-shaped island known to sealers as early as 1821. So, unlike the sealers who kept their best places secret, will bring you ashore. And you get lots of Antarctic birds, and then chinstrap penguins, shags, Wilson storm petrels, kelp gulls, snowy sheathbills, Antarctic terns, and skua. We also have Hannah Point. This is a place to see macaroni penguins. You also have chinstrap and gentoo penguins. And this is on the south coast of Livingston Island. So we can only visit here from January 10th onward, because otherwise it's too crowded with penguins. Yeah, quite a popular spot among them. Oh, sorry about that. We have Pendulum Cove. Here we have geothermal waters, which is named for the observations made in 1829. You can see yellow algae, boiled krill, because of the scalding water. We have Penguin Island. So Antarctica does have 2 flowering plants, both of which you can find on Penguin Island. Deschampsia antarctica and Colobanthus contensis. We also have chinstrap penguins, fur seals, and southern elephant seals, which are massive, amazing to see. And they all use those for Penguin Island is a place for breeding. We have Robert Point. This is a great spot for zodiac cruising. This was known as early as 1820. Chinstrap penguins, kelp gulls, pintado petrels all breed on Robert Point. And you can also look out and see whales in the surrounding waters. We also have Telefon Bay. This is the most recent evidence of volcanic eruption on Deception Island. Can be seen from Telefon Bay. We also have Turret Point with chinstrap and Adelie penguins. This is on King George Island. The beaches here are crowded with southern elephant fur, and you also get Weddell seals. Yeah, I love Weddell seals. They're fascinating. We have Whalers Bay. we have to, if we are able to go through here, you have to sail through a narrow passage called Neptune's Bellows. The bay was used by whalers from 1906 to 1931. It's part of a protected harbor created by the formation of the circular flooded caldera known as Deception Island. Along with waddling penguins and lounging seals, you'll see the rusting remains of whaling operations on the beach. And you can watch for steam that will rise from the geothermally heated springs along the shoreline. And finally, there's Yankee Harbor. So Gentoo penguins have a rookery on this harbor. This is on the southwest side of Greenwich Island. You can see the Argentine Refuge hut and a large glacier that stretches along the east and north sides of the bay. There's an abandoned sealing tripod. Is all that remains of the activity that brought these men thousands of miles in tall ships to seek their fortunes. So, just a little reminder that embracing the unexpected is a very important part of any of these expeditions. If there's something that would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our expedition crews, they will take you on that. And it may take you off course from certain other things, but it's really a time to just embrace the moment and enjoy the uniqueness of this single expedition that you would be going on. So that is the details on that particular one. What are you thinking? Yeah, when you hear it like that, it does sound a bit short, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, why don't we meet again? And next time, why don't I talk you through a little bit longer one, see if that's up your alley more, if that's a little bit more value proposition for you, because there is so much to see, and you do spend 4 days of the 10 on the Drake Passage one, so you're really only getting 3 to 5 days out on Antarctica. If you want more time there, I would definitely go a longer expedition. Okay, well, why don't we meet up? We'll discuss one of the longer ones more. Why don't you leave it with me? I think having gone through this one a bit more, might have an idea for what you'd be interested in, okay? Okay, well, I'll see you soon then. I just don't want to try and dive right into it and overload you with information at once, so why don't we meet again and we can go through it then. Okay, sounds lovely. Look forward to seeing you then.